What's going on to you, Geminis? How you Geminis are doing, by the way? So for you, you actually have the Hierophant, the World card, and then you have the King of Wands. So the Hierophant speaks to the divine wisdom that a lot of you Geminis have built, and you have. And the World card represents the skills, the manifestation skills that a lot of you Geminis have. So there's a sense of you Geminis being very wise, very you understand how to make things happen and what to do. And the King of Wands here represents, again, despite things, regardless of whether things are perfect, not perfect, up to par or up to your liking, not up to your liking, is irrelevant. You Geminis pretty much know what to do. You know how to handle your business. um, Staying focused on doing what it is that you got to do and loving your life, like I've been talking about, right? The Hierophant represents wisdom. The Hierophant is Sagittarius and Taurus mixed together. Taurus is about, the reason why is because Taurus is also about wisdom to a certain extent as well. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of wisdom. So, you know, Jupiter rules over Pisces and Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is your opposite zodiac sign, right? You being Geminis. So you have this kind of polarity, this Sagittarius polarity and wisdom that you're pulling from, and you feel good about it. A lot of you Geminis definitely feel good. You feel powerful. You feel amazing due to the fact that a lot of you actually are seeing headways, that ways that I said that you would, and how it is that you love in your life because of it. And the Queen of Wands. So you have the King and Queen of Wands right here represents how, this represents that pretty much it represents how it is that you Geminis, basically things are not necessarily up to your liking right around now with everyone, but the show must go on, right? Things have to happen regardless. And you Geminis are definitely making things happen, regardless of whether things are up to your liking or not, because you have the King and the Queen of Wands here. And yeah, so the situation with that is that you feel, you Geminis, you know what to do, right? It's not like it's a situation where you don't know what to do and you're just kind of like frozen in time because you frozen with indecisiveness because you don't know what to do. A lot of you Geminis very much so know what to do, right? To make those decisions. And what I mean when I say those decisions, I mean like responsible decisions that make you, that's some of the things that make you as an adult, as you are. And the Ten of Cups here represents how this is a place for you Geminis where you feel good because this feels amazing for you due to the fact that you're making said decisions and those decisions are working well. This could also be a situation for you between yourself and someone else where you Geminis and this other person are learning to work together. A lot of you are like, okay, if you can't leave these people or you don't want to, let's see if you and this other person can actually make something happen that's worthwhile, right? Where the two of you can agree on something. So it could very much so be you and someone else that is learning how to actually work together, or getting over an argument or a disagreement that the two of you may have had with one another for essentially the continuation of the relationship. And then you also have the Star card here, and the Star card represents this: you want it to be amazing. You want things between, if it is between yourself and someone else, you Geminis want this thing to be amazing between the two of you. You kind of want it to be the first you kind of want it to be the first time that you met this person where things were going well, but at the same time, obviously, you have the knowledge of who they are, stuff like this, and they have the knowledge of who you are. You want it to be that kind of a situation, but also one where, excuse me, you're moving forward. So it's not like immediately like how it is that you just first saw them. Because a lot of the times, too, that's what squanders relationships, unfortunately, too, is a lot of the times the other person will leave. And the reason why is because they created this plan in their head, right? Where it's like, oh, the relationship is boring. I got to ignite chase again. And so what they do is that they go to wild takes. And then the next thing you know, they decide, okay, they're not going to be with their significant other anymore. They're going to dump their whole significant other because they want it to be like the first time from the very beginning, where it's like they walked up to the person that they didn't know and then they said something. But the catch 22 is way too much history. They do know you and you do know them. But so you understand what type of time it is. You want this connection to be refreshing if it's someone else. If it's not, then this just means that you Geminis want your hopes and your dreams to actually come true. And you're working diligently and very focusedly to make those things happen. If focusedly is a word, I'll have to do the research to that. But focusedly, whatever, I'll do the research so I can get my diction right. But the point that I'm trying to make here is the Page of Cups here represents how and you don't want the work that you put in for you Geminis who are single to just be for nothing. Excuse me. Same thing when it comes to same thing when it comes to same thing when it comes to the ones of you Geminis whom are not single, right? Whom this resonates with. You want to you want to spice up the connection and make things good again. And see, the thing is that the Knight of Pentacles here for you Geminis represent how the Knight of Pentacles is about just not stopping. So regardless of whether you Geminis are with someone and you may be going through a little bit of a rough patch, or you're by yourself and you're going through a little bit of a rough patch, but you are actualizing apotheosis right out of it. A lot of you Geminis, excuse me, are in a place where you're moving forward regardless. And that is one of the most wild things in the world, right? It's wild, I'll tell you, right? It's wild when you realize you can't stop regardless. You can't stop. Even when, you know what I'm saying? Like even when like someone stops, it means that you may have to leave them behind. That's wild because honestly speaking, that's one of the hardest things to get past in life. It's the fact that you would have liked someone, you may have felt very strongly about the person, and life still has to go on. So if you decide to stay frozen in time or stand still in time, then the progression will not move forward. That was one of my hardest lessons to learn, right? Me being a Virgo, right? The other part of Mercury, I got told many times when I was younger, my emotions don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know how it is. People treat you Geminis differently. You're the one that has the sense of responsibility, right? Everybody else can get away with jibber jabber. You can't afford to get rid of. You can't afford to get away with jibber jabber, right? All you want to do is just be treated accordingly. Other people have time to waste. How come you don't have time to waste? You're different, is why. And so the situation for you Geminis is that y'all are embracing that. Regardless of whether you get through it with this person, if you have someone, or maybe you're single and you don't get through it, it doesn't matter. Five of Cups and the Four of Cups here represents how you Geminis are in a place where The Five of Cups and the Four of Cups is all about how you're moving forward regardless of whether this thing works. And as far as like whether they cheer up or not, depending on if you're in a relationship or not. If for the ones of you Geminis who are single, you're moving forward regardless of, you know, what it is that you've addressed within yourself. Or maybe you Geminis who are single may have gotten rid of the person already, and it's still kind of there, that's bugging you a little bit because you cared about this person, but a lot of you are still moving forward. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then not only that too, but also there's so much that I want to tell y'all. The meditation, the meditational spiritual aspect of compassion, being able to move forward, being able to balance things out, understanding that, the universe moves forward regardless of whether how it is that you feel. Case in point, how many people have you lost to time, if you know what I mean, right? Right? People that has gone on home to glory, if you catch my drift, right? The universe didn't stop, did it? And my heart goes out to all of y'all that has lost someone. That's not the point I'm trying to make here is that's one of the things that you learn. That's one of the things why it is that I said it keeps you in check. You keep yourself in check because I don't want to sound like gloomy or whatever, like a thunderstorm, a dark stormy night. But everyone is gonna go there at some point. You feel me? Including you, including me. And it's like for someone else, life goes on for them too. Even though you done moved and you done went home to glory. You feel me? So this is why I was trying to say about how the moving forward progress doesn't stop, right? What you see is why you see a lot of people end up being dysfunctional just regularly is those people, time has stopped for them. Time really hasn't stopped in certain ways, but time, aka progress in this example, has stopped for them. So they stop progressing. This is when they start to lose their house, their car, their lifestyle. They start to lose themselves because they've decided to stay in this time and they won't move forward. And for you Geminis though, it's different. You're moving forward, right? You're doing much better compared to how you used to in 2024. Granted, in 2024 you were doing pretty good, you know what I'm saying, but you're doing even better now. And now it's, it's the upward progression of, okay, now in 2026 you have to move better. That means less arguments and less trying to, because you don't have time for it anymore. I barely get into arguments because I don't care enough to get into arguments with people, because most people are on some agenda type stuff, right? Things that they are the majority. I'm not saying all the time, because sometimes I can be pigheaded. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I am wrong. Of course, that's everyone. And then I have to basically be like, yeah, I'm wrong. you know. But let's clarify the Four of Cups. You have the Empress, Two of Gabriel, Five of Raphael, Knight of Gabriel, and then you have the Three of Gabriel for you to clarify the Four of Cups. Right, to clarify the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups, the Empress, the Two of Gabriel, and the Five of Raphael here for you Geminis is all about how, regardless of whatever it is that's in your way, it's going to get out of your way. So, like I said, progress is going to happen regardless. So if the person doesn't want to move through, one of the things that kind of gets relationships out of the way and dissolves relationships is when the person doesn't want to move forward. You want to move forward and you want to address it to be able to move forward. They refuse to move forward. Well, then you got to leave those people. So it's going to get resolved one way or the other is what I'm seeing. whether you are resolving it with them or not with them. And so the Knight of Gabriel and the Three of Gabriel here represents how oh, okay, I know what that is. So sorry about that. So the situation with that is that for you, this is more so about how y'all are in a place where what you got going on pretty much is, you know, you're addressing it. You're gonna move forward regardless. So with someone, with them, not with them, single for you Geminis, you're gonna not it what you felt about this person, or about, you know, maybe your apprehension for the future isn't gonna matter, because you Geminis are still gonna march forward regardless, and still prosper essentially. You know, I'm telling you, I came up, let me tell you, I came up from nothing. I came up from $0 on this channel. Hopefully I never go back to that, you know. But I earned where I am. You know, and you Geminis are earning where you are too. That's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to get the YouTube channel to 100K. We're at 29,733 subscribers. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever it is that I drop my videos. Peace. Oh yeah, and sometimes too, you know, even when you hit the notification bell, sometimes you won't necessarily see all of my Gemini videos. So still periodically come back and check to see if I dropped any new videos. Because sometimes people will be like, you skipped the video, and you skipped the zodiac sign. And I'm like, I never skip zodiac signs. What are you talking about? That's it. Peace.